Hey folks, this is Jake Manning. I'm sitting next to George South. Normally we come in here and we tell a lot of jokes and we've got a little interesting show intro, but just this past Friday we lost a good friend in Ric Flair, and we just want to take a little bit of time to kind of step back from what we normally do to kind of remember Reid, because we were both interviewed for the local news and stuff like that, and of course they had to put the news piece together for 30 seconds, and for someone like Reid, telling his story and who he was and remembering him to the fullest can't be done in 30 seconds. So we're going to take a few minutes here on Dad You Don't Work, You Wrestle, just to talk about Reid and what he meant to us.
Bullet, I appreciate that so much. Nobody likes to have a good time or laugh or joke more than us, and also more than Ric Flair. But it is a very, very special episode this week because, like you said, we did lose a very, very good friend of ours, someone that trained with us a lot, someone that we were very close to in Ric Flair. And I think if I could sum everything up, I've already been asked today by one of the local news, how would you sum up Ric Flair's life? He's very young, had his whole life ahead of him. And the most amazing thing about Reid is, like you had said on your interview earlier, is his laughter. I mean, he was a good kid, just a sweet, sweet kid. What's amazing to me is, and I won't call nobody a goof this week, but I almost want to, it surprised me that had everybody that has come out of the woodwork saying either they knew Reid or they wrestled Reid's last match. And I know everybody's trying to show their respect, I guess, but folks, listen, if nothing else you get out of this episode and also out of Ric Flair's life is, if you care about somebody while they're here, tell them. Bullet. Yeah. Of course, I tell you all the time how much y'all mean to me, because I couldn't do nothing without y'all. But Ric Flair was just a tremendous kid, just a great, great, great wrestler. I mean, he was young, but he loved this business. And, I've been asked so many times, they said, well, Ric Flair had his demons. And I told the lady on the news, I said, we've all got things that we struggle with. We've all got things. And you'd be lying if you said you didn't. But I know that Ric Flair loved this business. He loved his dad. He loved his fans. What's amazing to me, Bullet, is all the different pictures that we have saw of fans with Reid. And that just shows you what type of guy the fans loved him, as you know, Bullet. And everyone had a picture made with him at the matches. He was just so nice to everybody. I'm going to miss him. I know you're going to miss him, Bullet. We both had some great, great matches with him, and he was just now getting everything back together. He looked good, and I'm going to miss him, Bullet. Yeah. I know you are too.
And a lot of people have liked to report on the negative side of things, and we'll leave that to them. But and normally sometimes we stick to the negative here, but we're talking about something positive here. There's always been that perception around Reid, but I always say this story about him. He as we do, we take the ring down and we get there like way earlier than everybody else. A lot of times, most people are not leaving until 3-4 o'clock. We're leaving at noon, 11 o'clock, getting that ring there, getting there, setting up early. Well, Reid, for a few road trips, was in that car, driving with the ring. And I will never forget an image. We're at a wrestling show. There's probably going to get like maybe 100 people. We know this coming in. It's going to be a small show. He helped with the ring. He was real helpful, rode all the way down with us. It was good to talk to. And without even me telling him, he grabbed a broom and he was sweeping out the ring. And it just happened to be at the time that everybody wanted to say something bad about him. Yeah. And I remember watching and seeing that and wishing I could show this to people that had something bad to say about him, in that here's this kid who took the initiative just to clean out the ring and did that. And that's the Ric Flair I know. Yeah. And also too, I've used the words goofball and prankster a couple of times. I remember him cutting a promo one time and walking to the back and trying to be the big heel just like his dad, and he slammed the door. But when he slammed the door, he wedged it in a certain way that you couldn't open the door. So he thought he was the coolest guy in the world, slammed the door. I'm the next match. I can't open it up. And you start to see the look on Reid's face like, oops, I made a mistake, and he goes and runs and hides away. And that's the childish kid, the prankster, the guy that was willing to laugh, and the fun person that I knew. And the thing is that anytime when I saw him at a wrestling show, there would always be a moment or two where we'd run into each other and we'd talk for about 10 minutes. And it didn't necessarily have to be about wrestling. He'd talk about his job. He worked at the gym, or what was going on in his life, his family, whatever was going on. We talked for 10 minutes. And I guess that's the biggest thing. I'm not going to get that 10 minutes at a wrestling show, but 10 minutes is such a small portion of the day. There's 24 hours that people are going to miss him.
That's right, Bullet. And the pressure that I put on y'all to go out and perform. You're not even my son, so I can imagine. I told the news today the pressure that not only Reid but David. I mean, your dad's Ric Flair. And just the pressure that poor kid had even before ever stepping in the ring of just trying to perform and trying to. Just live up to that Flair name. And he was just a great, great kid. I can say that. But, as we close this thing out, Bullet, the best way to sum this, I told the guy today, my daughter, one of my twins, Scarlett's 18 years old, she has hated funerals all of her life. She just freaks out for some reason. She has lost a pawpaw, she's lost a couple of uncles, but she never could go to the funeral. And of course, tomorrow, after this will be shown, of course, Reid's funeral will be tomorrow here in Charlotte. And today, my daughter, Scarlett, come up, and she'd only met Reid twice. And she come up today and said, Dad, can I go with you tomorrow to the funeral? And I stopped in my tracks, Bullet, because I thought, man, that young kid made such an impact on my daughter. He was so nice to her the 2 times that they met that she just throwed her fear. And I know to a lot of people they're going to think I'm crazy, but she just throwed her fear of funerals, of being around that atmosphere right out the window, and she's going to go with me tomorrow to Reid's funeral. And I've just been so excited about that because that just showed you the impact that young man made on someone in my family's life. And she said she just wouldn't miss his funeral for anything. So that's the best way I think, Bullet, that I could even remember Reid, is just his smile and just how much he touched us, and he just touched so many people's lives. So, and that's the thing I tell the fans. I've told them at shows this past weekend is the greatest way to keep his memory alive is not to be sad, but to still go to the shows and have a good time. I know Reid would want these fans to have a good time, and I know, and us as pro wrestlers, we're not human. I mean, we're not Superman. Some of us ain't human, but we're not Superman. We're human. We hurt. We lose loved ones. We lose people that we care about, but we just get back up on our feet and we continue to go. But we don't forget how much that Ric Flair, how much that sweet kid meant to us. So,
and that's we just want to take a little bit of time, take a step back, and remember our friend who we won't get to see anymore. So I don't really got a good way to close this or anything like that, but I felt like the news pieces just didn't quite cover the exact person that we lost.
Yeah.
And I don't think the news reporters or the people or even the perception you probably had of them covered and got the whole story.
Exactly. Because when we were interviewed, we spoke for about 20 minutes apiece, and they I know time is sometimes an issue, but they did maybe 5 minutes out of all that. So this was a great idea. This was actually Bullet's idea tonight, not mine. And I have to give out. Of course, I'll steal it from him like I do everything else. But I am just I appreciate you coming up with this, Bullet. It's just a great idea, and this is something that'll live on forever. We just want everybody to know how much we love Reid and love that whole family.
We just want to let them know how much you miss him, and just want to take more than just 30 seconds or a minute just to let you know how wonderful it was.
Yeah, we love you, Reid.